So come to religion, and religion is a way of a person telling you how to believe. It's a way of making you into a group and a way of life, but it's not a way of connection to God. Religion is just a systemic, a systematical way of old way of psychology into how to control people, right? So when you believe in a religion, you're telling people you go this way, not that way. There's rules and regulations for you how to do things, right? You That's not spiritual. It's just an arrogant something like that thing. People kill for religion, but no one would kill for spiritual direct contact with God, because God is like our father, and you wouldn't kill your brother for the idea of your father, would you? No, you would not. But for religion, for us, like a way of, like, my dad says, blood in and blood out. I would kill my own brother if I believe in that. I would kill my own brother if my own brother tries to get out of that group, right? So you can see it that way. Like, religion is blood in, or blood in and blood out. But spirituality is like love. It's like being connected to your father in real love way. There's a love from the mind and there's a love from the heart. And you get the love from the heart naturally, but you do not get the love from the mind naturally. It's like fed to you, it's forced into you, it's injected to you for you to believe it and follow it, right? And now people say, why did God allow Jesus to be crucified? Let me tell you something. If you have a normal mind, you would realize that God only gave us two things. Nothing, no three, no five, just two things, right? To me, He only gave me two things. One is life, obviously. The other one is freedom. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I was given a life and freedom. It's like what people die for. People say they rather stand and they rather die standing up than live kneeling down. It has to mean something, right? When you say that, it means freedom is worth paying for with your life, okay? And when people did what they did, God couldn't go through or in front of them and stop them. They had their freedom of rights. Even though they knew He was the Son of God, they chose what they did to God's Son, like closest Son. I don't want to say like God. For me, is like another brother who was sent recently to Earth, right, for message and stuff, and it's like the youngest child of God, which makes him the most closest to God, as in if, like, when you're like even in real life, when you're older, when you're like over 25, 30, you're more of your own out of the house, and you do what you think, not what your parents taught you, kind of thing. But the youngest kid always has you when you were like 15 or less, or 12 or something, and he was the teaching of your parents, right? It goes like the same way. God was sent as a messenger to us Christians to believe that what we were doing was not correct. Too many greed and cheating and killing and, did I say greed? Because that seems like the most biggest thing right now, and other stuff like more hate than love, and more separation than grouping and being together and stuff, right? And you would see some other things, like weird stuff, like God doesn't like dirty people. Cleanliness is next to godliness and stuff. I mean, if we're God's children, I mean, I would not be disgusted of my kid's diaper. I would just clean it for him because it bothers him and kind of smells bad, and it makes sense in a way that I would rather hug a clean son of mine than a dirty son of mine. But I love him just the same if he's dirty or not. So you can't go to this place, or women cannot do this thing because they're in their period, or you gotta cut your son's whatever that extra skin of his penis because of this stuff. God did that for a reason. It's the human's freedom that's doing all this, and that religion thing that's leading you into this, right? You can't just be like, religion killed more than politics. Religion killed more than disease. Religion killed more than hunger. It's religion that's killing. It's making us kill each other, not like, let's say, if I lose my son to a disease, it's not because of God that kid died. It's because of probably I was drunk when I conceived him. My wife might drink a little bit while she's pregnant. Maybe she doesn't eat a certain food that she doesn't like the taste of. That being for the kid less nutrition, so he's weak. It's her freedom and my freedom that got that kid dead. Not me, not her, or I mean me, but her and her, not God. God gave him life. He gave him that chance, but it was our responsibility to raise that child right. So since he was conceived, he was supposed to be done proper, not because he was born mentally ill that God gave him that illness because we didn't know any better, or we didn't know how to control that. Huh? If we had a skinny kid, or we have a, like, let's say, gay kid, it's not because of God that he was gay or different or something I would personally not like. It's because of my kid was exposed to something in a way that I didn't control. Because I'm here and I'm in control in my life, and I cannot control of the freedom of my kid because he's still a son of God, and he still have that life and freedom within him, what to think of, what to believe, what to feel. It's all his freedom. But if he's gay, I would blame God. He would be like, that's what if God came and told us, like, you cannot pass this time of asleep. I can only sleep at this time. I would be like, hey God, I'm not being free. If God says, like, you can only eat this food and you shall be healthy, but only this food. Otherwise, if you don't eat something else, if you eat something else, you will die. You would be like, God, where's my freedom? Exactly. So freedom and life is the only thing that was given to us. And people complain and cry and fight over things and blame God for wars, blame God for diseases, blame God for weakness, blame God for sickness, blame God for being tired. Because I smoke sometimes, and when I do smoke, I feel maybe like on point for a few minutes or hours, or even sometimes, if for some reason, for days, right? But after a few months, I feel this like constant tiredness, or even like going up and down the stairs, like losing my energy and stuff. Not like I used to. Eating the same food, doing the same exercise, and Nothing's changed. But as soon as I feel really tired, I'll be like, God, what are you do? What's happening to me? I'm like, God, what's going on with me? That's not how things work. You gotta think straight. You have to have a clear mind of how things work. You have to be spiritual, not religious. You have to be you have to follow your heart, not your mind sometimes. Because we've been trained to follow our mind since we were in kindergarten. What is that? That's a color. What is that? That's a number. What is that? Memorize that. Remember that. Understand that. It's the only connection we have as a human being is with our brain. You know, a lot of countries they don't like using spoons and forks and knife because they say they can feel and test the food with their tip of their fingers. That's kind of crazy. If you ask me, in America and Canada and Europe and a lot of part of China, they use that stick thing. Why? Why not connect in more basis? Having a pet and not having a pet is is different. I've lived both. When I have pets, I feel more real. Not I can't say anything any way else. I feel more real, more me, more alive than when I do not have pets. You know what I mean? When I connect to more organic, like organisms and real stuff, I feel more real than when I just go home, use YouTube, watch things, and go to sleep and wake up and do the same thing and just not feel, not breathe, not. It's really stressful. But it's the way life is. Religion is bad, and quote me on this, but all religions were invented by brown-eyed people, and mostly brown, like desert chess, Saharan, and I don't. It's more like it's different, right? Intelligence is more in like the icy, snowy, like let's think about next winter stuff, and strength is built where there's like Central Africa and with trees and like sunlight and great foods, most strongest people like you can even ever think of, and there's like balance and creativity and what do you call this? Uh, I don't know. There's another way of balance, but like balance is like more into Asian countries, you know, and like more tradition and spiritual things and we are were like made by the more like natives and aboriginals and stuff. They have the real deal of how to connect with Earth and what is what on Earth and oh man, great feelings, great dreams, great connections of the spiritual world. And as a race, everybody's gifted in a way, but you cannot put someone into the same way of living and break the code of who you really are. Okay, it's might be really hard and confusing because we were taught and programmed better that we were told all our lives. But think for 1 second that planting was supposed to be done on our own, fishing and hunting on our own, feed, start our own kingdom, and serve that queen, and start a colony, which is our children. That's how it was supposed to be. Now, people don't even get married until their 40s and they don't have anything to learn because They already started that life when it's so late, and now they don't even know what to do, and they got that more messed up kids than they were when or that than I was when I was being raised up, and things start happening. Like I'm not saying I was messed up. I was given way little attention or than I was supposed to, because the big number in my family and people be like, oh, that one will help him, that one will teach him, that one will take him, that one will bring him. Keep getting forgotten at school because we're so many in the house, and one thinks one is bringing him for the next week or this week. Things like that happen. But for mine was, I don't want to talk about myself, but it's how things are is like a person is free and alive to do whatever they want. Sure, they have to do things in a certain way to live in that social life, but like they're not supposed to be imprisoned. They're supposed to live free, and they're supposed to live strong or weak. Their freedom, but like being strong is like it's easier to have your colony, your way of life. If you're weak, how are you gonna survive and support your colony, right? So please be enlightened. I wouldn't say illuminated. I would go with enlightened, because illumination is tasting things you shouldn't have. If I taste meth and cocaine just for illumination purposes, I'm addicted. But enlightenment is this is how you use this stuff. But being enlightened is being told that I would be addicted as soon as I smoke that thing or whatever other drugs are. As soon as I use this strong drug, I will be addicted. That's being enlightened. Illumination is using that drug, being exactly in that compromising position, and be addicted or not. It's for me, right? It goes in me and it's inside, processed and out, or stays in. That's illumination. I would never want to use illumination in any way, but I would always accept and how do you say invite enlightenment. So be enlightened, and that's it. So take it easy. Work hard, play hard if you want, but take it easy. Don't let anybody tell you anything better or worse. Peace. This is Nati from Eritrea. See you, man.